everybody, it's Mike DeLisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing, and today we're going to be taking a look at Icaion, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from Tabula Games, 2 to 5 players between 90 to 120 minutes. Pretty impressive cover there. Discover a new world, become a seeker, an expert adventurer sent out by the organization to hunt for treasures. Quom? Q-O-A-M? Sure, Quom. Relics and artifacts from ancient times. You'll have to lead a convoy to the barren and cold lands surrounding the city, bringing back as much as you can. All right, well, we can see that there are some minis involved in the game for sure. They've got them pictured on the back. Let's take a look and see what else is inside this very large box. And there's some kind of UV printing on there too. I don't know if you can make that out on the camera, but it's there. All right, we got a bunch of cardboard, as you might expect. You can see the different sheets. It's nice and thick, double-sided cardboard tiles. All right, we've got our board here. It is a double-sided board. All right, just kind of give you a sense for it. I don't have it all on camera, but I think you get a general idea on what it's about. I'm assuming the different sides are going to be for different player counts. It looks like there's more regions perhaps on this side. Is that correct? Yeah, there's more regions on this side of the map, so I'm guessing for a larger player count you'd be using that side of the map. Looks like we've got perhaps some player boards here. Recessed cardboard. I do love me some recessed cardboard. I'm on record for that. All right. You can place items here and in here. In the player colors. Since it's a up to 5 player game, we've got the 5 different color player boards here. We also have what looks to be maybe some type of perhaps a market board. Places you can place, looks like resources and cards. Again, all of this is conjecture. I haven't looked at the rule book, and I'm not going to be looking at it in tremendous detail, but I think it's a pretty safe assumption. Speaking of the rule book, there it is, Icaion. We'll flip through this quickly. Got our list of components here. It looks like there's potentially a Kickstarter expansion inside, a Wonders Kickstarter expansion. I don't know if this contains it, but they do list it in the book, so we may or may not be looking at that. You just have to keep that in mind. We've got our setup here. Looks like a step-by-step. Oh, and that's always nice. I do like this, where you've got insets for the different areas of the board. That's really, really nice. After the setup done, the game begins with year 1. I'd like to see this happen more often, where you've got kind of these blow-up insets of different parts of the board. The gameplay. In a game of Icaion, players will confront each other over the course of 3 years. Each year is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1, beginning of the year. Phase 2, during a year. And then you've got the different player turns. On your turn, you must decide either to move or set up camp. So you're moving or not moving. And then you can perform 1 standard action, 1 special action, or both. If you do both, you can do them in any order. And once you initiate it, resolve it before initiating another. And so they list the different standard actions. Extract, deploy a machine, eradicate parasites, investigate the Colossus, retrieve an apparatus, install an apparatus, and then special actions, play a curio card, use the emergency power supply. And then it goes into more detail for each of these standard actions, along with some nice illustrated examples, which is always important. A very striking illustration in the center of the rulebook there. Then our special actions. Phase 3 is end of the year, and it looks like that might depend on the player count, but it says when the 5th region card is placed on the event track, the last round of the current year begins. All players take 1 last turn, and then the year ends. And then you've got some end game scoring. The player with the most reputation points wins the game. If there's a tie, the player who was last in turn order. So you're never going to have a tie in this game, it looks like. It's always going to be resolved. And then we've got some references here for the different cards and more of the different types of cards and the apparatuses And then this is describing the Wonders expansion. And then you've got a big thank you for the Kickstarter campaigners. And now we've got a whole bunch of plastic, okay? I'm not going to show you all of this, but I do want to show you some of the plastic components. You can see these different colored components. Let me just show you some of these. Here's a red mini. Stay still. There we go. Okay. Let's take a look at a yellow. There we go. So certainly you could paint these, but they are already colored, and I'm assuming they're in player color. Seekers and Wonders. We have more underneath here, but it's in an envelope, so I hesitate. See the Fall Conflux Kick. I'm not going to open that because A, I don't know what it is, and B, it looks almost like it's spoilerific. So, just in an abundance of caution, I will not do that. We've got some colored bases, and I think that some of these are going to be part of that expansion, so just be aware of that. We've got some little plastic markers that look to be player markers of a sort, to show you kind of what that looks like. Okay. We'll look at a couple more of these minis here. There you go. I think I can get a good look at that. To me, these look very, very nice. As I've stated in the past, I'm certainly not an expert in miniatures. I am not a hobby painter, but to me, these look very nice. Very impressive. I like the look, the aesthetic of some of this. Has a sci-fi. Oops. There we go. So, again, I'm not showing you all of them, but I'm trying to give you a pretty good indication of what types of minis you've got here. All right. Oh, look at this. That's no joke right there. And it looks like there are things that you can put in the bottom here. 5 spaces that you can add to this very impressive mini. And it might be these. I'm not exactly sure what they are. They kind of, these little almost like crystals, could these fit? Yeah, see, they fit inside the mini like that. Interesting, okay. And it looks like we've got some colored crystals, acrylic colored crystals. Let me just kind of pop these back in here so I don't forget where they were. There we go. Open a couple of these potentially, yeah, to show you. There we go, some nice plastic crystals that I'm now dropping all over the place. And I'll deal with that later. We've got some wooden screen printed player markers. Probably score markers would be my guess. And then a whole bunch of cards here. Actually, not a huge amount of cards. Let's look at some of the small cards here first. All right. Different colored crystals. I'm assuming victory points there at the bottom. Not sure. That's kind of a standard victory point delineator. Looks like different actions you can take. Sorry, I think some of those were off camera, but it's mostly iconography and a bit of art anyway. Let's take a look at some of the large size cards. Some player aid cards here. First decide either to move or set up camp. Perform actions for each of the player colors. Then we've got some cards that have some really nice art. Not a whole lot to them. Mainly a big picture and some iconography. Some Colossus cards here. There we go. Just kind of showing off some of the art there. All right, well, very interesting aesthetic and a pretty impressive looking game just from a visual standpoint. That gives you a pretty good idea of what's inside the box for Icaion. Thank you for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.
Thanks so much for watching another Dice Tower video. If you enjoy our videos, subscribe to the channel for more fun, comprehensive board game coverage. Also, consider joining us at one of our events. Come to Dice Tower Retreat, a small, intimate gathering where gaming is king. Join us for Dice Tower Cruise, the largest board game cruise. Attend Dice Tower West in Las Vegas for gaming fun on the West Coast, or Dice Tower East in Orlando in sunny Florida. Dice Tower Conventions, the friendliest gaming conventions on Earth. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.